And welcome back to Half Hour Henshin. We are on episode 63. As always, I'm your host, Sleepy Witch, joined by
DJ Azure, the 2.5D Hirataga tuber.
and,
Oh man, so it's Thanksgiving when we're recording this, so
literally Thanksgiving.
yeah, because I had stuff to do last night, but we ate this week.
I mean,
yes, that is the joke I was waiting to say when you started.
I can't believe that's what you were going with. You were so excited. I thought it was going to be something funny.
What? You didn't like that one? But I mean, the thing is, though, is that we can't tell people why we ate because it is the last episode. Because, well, I mean, still, it's tofu. It's about food, and we hella ate this week.
Yeah. To be fair, have you seen the suits for UFOX?
Yes, I want it so bad.
Okay, the UFO suit is so fucking funny. I love that thing so much. It's so cute. I love that he's got a little alien in his head. It's so stupid. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with Gotchard, UFOX does. Well, I mean, not the form, but it had a big role in this episode a bit.
Yeah.
And
yeah. First update to like the Kemi rules we've seen. Level 10s cannot be subjugated.
Yeah, that was actually interesting for them to show it to us by breaking last week's status quo of by keeping the status quo by even though the Bill sisters did get the UFO-X, it broke out, and that's how we learned about the rule.
Yeah, they can't be subjugated, and it's funny because they call it a rule, but I mean a rule seems like a rule would be, in my opinion, something that like, oh, you made this up because like. That's how you, it's something that you put in place because you know that it can be broken, but, like, you shouldn't. But it seems like it's not so much a rule as, like a natural law. Like, they just cannot be captured because they're too strong.
At least with the ones that, at least with the translation I've been watching, they do call it the Kemi laws.
Oh, okay, they call it a rule or whatever, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, like pretty much, especially because of all the science terminology they use for the show for the alchemy, it does make sense for it to be called the Kemi laws.
Yeah.
Oh man, but
we get a cute little montage of them chasing around literal beetles.
Yeah. Oh man, and so this episode was really funny because like not only were they capturing beetles, they were capturing so many Kemis this episode. They got like 10 Kemis this episode. We got 5 wild forms in the span of like 3 minutes.
Yeah. I thought that was honestly maybe a little much. Like, we don't have to speedrun to use them all this episode, guys.
I mean, at the same time, because like they are building up to like the first
10.
To the first 10, it makes sense. And it's also like, you know, we don't need that many suits this early. So like them just being wild forms just makes sense because they
no.
Like,
I don't think they should have been suits. I just mean like we didn't have to use them all like because they get used basically in the first fight of the episode for like in like 2 minutes. You know, I just meant we could have spread them out.
Well, I mean, at the same time, I mean, like the wild form only Kemis do seem to be just like, you know, kind of just like special attacks. That's it.
Yeah.
Like except for Chocho, Bang Chocho or whatever it was called, where Rene gets to use a gun,
which is still really funny.
Yeah.
More wild forms where he just turns into something for Rene to use.
Yes, please.
But
yeah, and then we introduced new characters, some new inspectors of the alchemy school, and yeah,
new alchemy inspectors. The wall forms are really funny because again, they are the part where like you notice the budget because it's like, gets attacked by JPEG.
Yeah. Oh man, we'll talk about budget later as well too, but still.
But UFOX is something that Sazabi wants to catch because he's just into occult stuff, and that's cool. Mm-hmm. He makes an item to like call it, which is cool. I like that we're seeing that everyone else can also kind of make these items. It's kind of a cool bit because like in build. You know, he made all his little extra weapons himself, but in this one, because
Mhm.
everyone else is an alchemist, everyone else can make the items but him.
Yeah, that's another thing I really liked about this episode. That Sabi senpai actually got to have kind of a starring role in this episode. Like we finally got an episode based around him, and it was adorable because like he was so excited, and like the thing I loved about it was that because you know this entire episode kind of revolves around UFO X and like you know and like kind of the overarching theme of you know X's can't be level X's can't be subjugated. Like the fact that they well, at least my translation kept using specifically subjugate,
Yeah,
but that basically means that it doesn't stop Hotaro from being its friend.
yeah. I, the thing I was using was was I think also subjugated, but they call UFO X, but it ends up not mattering because the Abyssal sisters attack. Spanner is confirmed to be like a senpai. I think they actually call him in this one. Before I think it's been mostly Ichinose, and he's just been calling him Spanner. Kaijiki gets to see UFO X, which is really funny.
Yeah. It makes sense for Kajiki to see him, yeah, because you know it's like he like actually I think didn't he have a bit of a flash of like no actually no I remember what happened like yeah. He basically saw it for a second and then he instantly forgot.
Yep,
because Kenry Law.
Yep. And then this guy is just coming in. You know, we have one of the inspectors who's basically demanding Ichinose to give up his driver because he's like you're too inefficient with it, which is you know a little bit of a retread with him and Spanner at the beginning.
And after that, like actually, oh man, okay, because I mean, I did watch the episode, but I was also dealing with everything else this week. But like I forgot, like didn't Spanner like actually step in to like protect Hotaru? Yeah,
like it's not really your place to do this. So we're seeing a little bit of growth there, with them. But hey, Abyssala's sister, the little one comes to find Ren. Basically tells them, "Hey, this tragedy is going to be your fault," and we get to see how kind of right now ridiculous OP she is.
Yeah, she's so unsettling. Like she, like you said, like for the past couple of weeks, she does a really good job. Holy crap, she plays like the creepy kid in control so well.
Yeah, and it's just like, and again, it's just the like, oh, Spanner shows up, and Spanner's someone who we've seen basically handle everything like really handily, and even though he shoots her like a bunch of times, he just kind of like reforms every time.
Yeah. Oh my god, she's ridiculously OP. Like honestly, and I mean, we see what they were working on at closer to the end of the episode, but still, like the fact that like they're actually taking active roles in trying to get in the way is great. Like, yeah, I'm really enjoying that aspect of it.
Yeah, so we get UFO X. He shows up. They decide to chase it because we've kind of finished with the Abyssal sisters. And I really like the Sasabi telling him, you know, if it's you, Ichinose, you can do it. Like, you could be his friend.
Yeah.
Then he gets attacked by the same amalgam from earlier because the Catulus card is gone. You know, we get a cool fight. We get the Jungle Jam Raidenji.
Oh, that's right. We got 2 kicks. Wait, no. Was it just 1 or 2 kicks? I can't remember. No, it was just the 1 kick. We got the 1 kick, and with the coils and
yeah.
Oh man, I love that kick. Except it didn't look as good as like probably still the best rider kick of all time, which is Kamen Rider Drives. But it really gave me that ride, like you know, just like instant like bounce off teleport kick.
Yeah,
and I love that.
I was just like this suit was personally like not my favorite so far.
It was so huge.
Yeah, I feel like it was maybe even a little too huge is my thing. I think the one thing for the Gold Dash suit being huge, because we've already seen whole Gold Dash, but this one also being huge is kind of like, oh, okay, I guess that one's not really that special, and I don't really like the 2 hands.
Oh, I mean, come on, didn't you watch Everything Everywhere all at once?
Okay, you know, you got me there. Also, again, this is going back with this kick. Like the only like the cool visual stuff we got later on was the CG, because unfortunately, because it is such a giant suit, it's like too unwieldy. It's like too impractical in real life.
Mm. Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, yeah, kind of like with the Gold Dash suit where we got like the forward flip kick, where it was all CG until he reformed and
yeah,
just dropped down. Yeah, but yeah, no, but like what was actually really cool is that like UFO X is like Hotsuro still like caring for the like showing that he really cares for the Chemis, that he was about to get captured and was actually telling UFO X to go away, but UFO X stays and tries to help Hotaro, which is amazing.
yeah. Also, he got Catchula, and Catchula almost immediately gets taken back by this lady because it turns
Hmm.
out it was the other inspector, not the one we thought it was, and she just has like a little dimensional portal thing.
Yeah, and then we see like her arm is all like crazy, like
Yeah, it's all like black and kind of fucked up.
yeah,
Uh, so yeah, we're gonna see the power of forbidden alchemy next episode. The
yeah, and
malevolent
Kamen Rider
destroyer,
Dread.
Kamen Rider Dread.
Oh man, I know you. I mean, actually, I'm not sure if you've actually come across all the toy or catalog leaks,
Nope.
but man, I am so excited because I really hope a certain thing is actually real.
Oh god.
Oh man, yeah, that was great. But yeah, I mean, UFOs, space, and talking about space, we have our third space kaiju for Ultraman.
Oof. Yeah. This one was
It
this
was
one,
dense.
yeah. Oh my god.
Like the thing is too is that it's dense, but it doesn't feel like it's like overdoing it. Like yeah,
No. We have the kaiju. He's spitting out a bunch of basically polluted air. Uh I
yeah,
like how at the beginning we see Gento outside, he gets caught by the camera crews. I'm like, I wonder if that's gonna be relevant later.
yeah. I mean, we'll see. But man, yeah, like this episode with the poison gas, with the poison gas kaiju. There was a lot of I mean, like if there's one thing like that we keep bringing up, like at least once a week, is just how hilarious and expressive these fights can be.
Yeah.
And
I really like how we've gotten like a bunch of different like shapes of kaiju, and now we have basically one that's like a long kind of like snake. Man. First
yeah,
of all, the
what
big
what
things.
is it? It's basically like a spotted eel style, like the ones that just pop out of the sand. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah. And the big thing is, the top brass tell them to stop investigating. To which he just says, "Oh, just continue investigating. They'll come back to us eventually."
yeah. I mean, which is great because still yeah, he's basically telling them to stop, but it's like stop, but don't.
Yeah, don't, not at
um,
all. We
yeah,
get to
but
see some more of
yeah, yeah,
Emmy's
yeah, her.
reconnaissance.
Mhm. But yeah, it's actually really cool how he says that because he's basically abusing the fact that the miscommunication between the higher ups and Scar that we've been seeing is being weaponized right now.
Yeah, it's really good. Uh, we get to see Emmy dig a little bit deeper. She found someone who went to university with her dad, and so now she's trying to figure out if he knows something that she doesn't. And this is probably one of the big times, like, her bid is kind of being cool and collected and everything, but when she's talking to this dude, she's freaking out. She's like, please tell me what happened, and the dude just walks off, and she's like, kind of shaken.
Hmm.
Uh, Gento, we unfortunately got to deal with the trope of like, main character says, I'm gonna go home early today, only for them immediately to have an attack happen and be like, you cannot go home early today.
Hmm.
At
Hmm.
least he managed to text back and be like, hey, I'll be late after all.
Yeah, but at the same time too, though, it's like we do get yeah, we do get a cute moment. Like it's like, oh yeah, no, like we saw you helping.
Yeah, they saw him on TV, which is really funny because that's what I said. Like the camera crew comes back around and they saw him helping and they saw him wearing the little bracelet his son made, which was really cute. Oh my god, it was so insane to watch the regular GGF forces like fucking try to tensile wire the little kaiju's mouth, and then it just like breaks free. It just fucking
Mhm.
chucks the laser cannon.
Yeah, and then we get one of the funniest uses of Earthy, and Earthy puts in so much work, and is not completely like
Oh my god, Earthy was actually
beatable this
so
episode.
useful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
Earthy
was
was so useful this
yeah,
episode, which was really cute. Yeah, Earthy's a giant air purifier.
yeah, makes sense. It's great. I love that.
I just love how Bondo's like, Earthy's gonna be the biggest air purifier ever. Like, he's so excited by such a mundane concept.
Yeah, it's adorable.
But oh my god, the fight this week was intense. We're getting more like weird hints about what's going on. You know, the air gets purified and the head turns into a different kaiju.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going back to the thing that they were talking about earlier, where it was like, oh, well, you know, they could all be from the same planet that has like vastly different like atmospheres or like you know, zones or something like that. And maybe it's something where it's like in the polluted air it evolves into being, you know, this eel kaiju, but in the cleaner air it evolves into being something else.
Yeah. Yeah, and I talk about making cleaner air, basically using the properties of gas and electricity, just plasmaing it all to like just literally clean out the air. But also, we get to see Earthy be an absolute badass and shove its fist into the kaiju's mouth and just start shooting.
Yeah.
And just,
I mean,
Earthy
Earthy really does save the day because he gets himself free by shooting himself with rockets. And you see him grab one of the mouths and just start beating it up. Like he just grabs and starts beating with his fist, shoots the one that's on Blazer to set him free, and then, you know, after the plasma, he just shove his mouth in there and they just like fire blast, just blow one up from the inside.
Yeah,
honestly, really cool bit.
Yeah, I'm so glad Earthy got a full on win this week.
Yeah, honestly. I do still want to. I do still want to get the shirt, the Earth Garen, very defeatable.
Oh man, but yeah, like I like honestly, I'm just like really happy whenever we see Earthy because like, you know, Earthy is literally the goodest boy.
He's such a cute design, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, like I mean, I wasn't sure like how I was gonna feel about him because like, you know, kind of like the whole like, you know, just like kind of stiff movement of like, you know, because like, you know, it can really only move its elbows a little bit because of the whole like T-Rex look. But then again, like just like Blazer himself, it's so expressive. Plus, they gave him all those eyes, the swappable eyes, which is the best part.
The eyes are really good. The eyes are really good, and it's like really funny because you have to remember that, like, yeah, they have to like. That means that like in canon, the GGF was like, hey guys, we gotta program all these different expressions into him, or he won't be finished.
I mean, but at the same time, you have to wonder if it was the GGF or Bondo that did that.
That's the same difference. Yeah, that's the same difference at that point. And then we get basically the big thing at the end of the episode, which is the kaiju heads just sprout back out of the ground.
Yeah,
we
get a few what's it called? We get a few like connection I'd probably say the first half of the episode like set up for a couple things at the end, like, you know, like you said, TV cameras showing that despite him being late, like Gento, like his son was like so happy to see him because he was on the news helping people, and it's like, I understand why Daddy was doing that, and it's adorable. And then we actually see that Emmy actually was approached this time by the other person.
Yeah, but they didn't work with their father.
Yeah, and like was approached by him this time, and then adding on to that, we see that like, what is it, the GGF higher ups are saying they've made contact.
Yep. And then we got the preview. Emmy's gonna touch a dimensional rift. Where does the flame that appear go? New form for Blazar, or like upgrade or something. He's got like an arm.
Yeah,
that's gonna be exciting. Especially because it looks like, yeah, the heads are coming back basically this next episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy because I mean, like at the same time, like, you know, like we said, like, you know, kind of is just like a spotted eel. Like, you know, there's like an entire network of them down there. So yeah, we'll see.
Yep. And hey, if it really is a fire figure, he's gonna grill some eel.
Oh my god, I really hope they call back and just cook this kaiju in a funny way.
That would be funny,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, because episode 2, yeah, like what was it, Ghettos, I think it was, like getting fried like on a skewer.
Yep.
Oh man, that was the funniest thing. Oh man, but not so funny this episode this week. Oh
Yeah,
man, Kaguragi's episode. Oh my god.
I mean, there were still some funny bits. Grody's in charge, and he has brought back Tofu's old ruler, who, from what we've known, was terrible and was hoarding food and was letting people starve, and was probably the worst of all the rulers, which makes sense why Grody, after hearing all of this, would bring them
Yeah.
in.
Oh yeah, fun fact, both of their actors, Grody and former rulers, they're married.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yep. And it's really funny too, because she basically orders him to go collect food, and he's like, "But I'm the one that brought you back." It's so
Yeah.
funny. Oh man, this episode, I'm not even sure where to start because it was so good.
I mean, let's just get the dumb funny bit out of the way. Everyone else is starving, except for fucking Jeremy, who doesn't need to eat. Oh, also, real quick thing. I think this is the first time I noticed it in the opening. Have you noticed that they changed the opening part for Gira,
I did not.
where they do the like things in the suits, where everyone's
Oh,
got
that's
like
right. Yeah,
bug
yeah.
elements.
He turns into the king.
The
the
Kurogata Oger with the lance and everything now.
Mhm.
So that's a cute update.
Mhm.
Sorry, completely dethreading that. Yeah, everyone is starving, and they're basically just eating wasabi and flowers, which makes sense for what they would have in Ishiban.
Yeah, and then of course, and then Jeremy's just chilling. It's like saying, "Oh well, when you've lived for 2,000 years, eating just becomes like reading."
Which makes absolutely no sense. But
Yeah.
he's Jeremy. He's doing stuff.
Yeah. Also talking about funny bits, like right after we basically see, oh cool, there's Rita and Kaguragi. Oh look, there's Grody. Okay, cool. You deal with him, Rita. It's like okay, Muso. Substitution technique. Okay, bye, Rita.
Yeah, Rita just dips. Rita has
Immediately.
nothing to do with this. Which was honestly really funny. Yeah, we start seeing flashbacks to the bloody night where Kaguragi took over the kingdom, and we get to see them basically run into Grody, and Grody be like, "Hey guys, you want some rice? I'm making food."
Yep. And of course, well, I mean, we'll talk about this all, but yeah, this basically like takes place across two timelines, basically with Kaguragi young and 17 years ago and now. So like we basically see like so many things from like the older ruler, like her saying no one that's so honest can ever betray me, and you're like, what?
Yep. We get to see the previous Kaguragi, who was just a rice farmer with his sister, who was acknowledged by the ruler of Tofu, and who, what do you want to be? And he was basically like, I want to be covered in dirt till the day I die, because he's talking about farming food.
Yeah, it's like he still hasn't changed that, which is it's just brilliant. Like this episode was just flexing.
It was really cool seeing this little bright-eyed like farmer boy, and then the Fury of the Gods happens, and all the rice is basically being held by Lady Toki up in the castle. And everyone's like, we're gonna starve, everyone's gonna die, we need to go and basically steal the rice back. And Kaguragi goes like, I'm gonna talk to her one last time.
Yeah, and then we basically just flash forward immediately, and it's like, she's dead! And he just looks dead.
He looks devastated, he's got blood on his hands, he's holding the sword. And it's Suzume who like proclaims like, he took out the old lord, he is now like the ruling lord of Tofu, and everyone else is like, yeah, Kaguragi.
Yeah, and then they go back to explain it, and
yep.
And man, yeah, and like wonderful, and then to start with, like this is basically intersplayed with like Grody basically giving them food, but what do we find out about the food?
The food is poisoned, and so was the rice back then. Which Lady Toki ate basically because she knew that she had to die and burn herself basically with the rice, because if the other nations found out that the rice is contaminated, it would basically ruin tofu and ruin the whole, like, exporting of the food. So she decided to sacrifice herself to achieve this end, telling Kaguragi to strike her down.
Yeah, and like, yeah, it's like the thing is when you find out that the food that it was poisoned, like, it's like that is like them just shouting out the answer to you, and it's like they'll explain it later that yes, it did happen again back in the day, but like it's crazy that they basically just told you the answer and slowly made it more and more obvious throughout the second half of the episode, and it's so well done. Like,
yep. And especially with the her plan basically being to sacrifice herself, it doesn't matter if she's known as like the tyrant ruler who tried to, like, you know, make sure no one in tofu could eat, as long as tofu itself stays well. And Kaguragi at this point, being too naive, doesn't strike her down because he cares about her. He doesn't want to hurt her, even though she's already poisoned. And that's when she calls him her little traitor, because he betrayed her in the end by not actually following through with what she wanted.
Yeah, it's, oh my god, yeah, it is.
And then
it is heart-wrenching.
It's like, gut-wrenching, but Kaguragi come in to confront her, only to basically do like, I'm gonna do now what I couldn't do then. And then he doesn't even strike her down. He leaves to strike Grody down because he's the one keeping her alive. Which also, we finally get to see Grody's like bug form, which was cool.
Yeah.
I've been wondering he was just gonna be a dude the whole time. And Kaguragi basically just comes in solos, which is great.
Yeah, and then like it basically just ends on a silent of the Kuroko just basically like kneeling to Kaguragi.
Yep.
Like,
and after he struck down a Grody, we get to see her just kind of like melt away, and just her smiling like, you know, oh, my little traitor, you know, it took you long enough, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so we are not going to get into the episode preview just yet because I really want to linger on this though.
Oh my god, the episode preview is a whole different thing.
Like, Kaguragi, like, we know he's basically a cheat, a liar, in the dirt all the time. But the fact that he's been living this lie that he struck her down and has to act like it this entire time, like, he's literally been deceiving everyone since 17 years ago.
Yep. And here's the thing, that's the lie that started it all. That's when he realized that, like, I can lie for the greater good, and it doesn't, again, going back to he'll dirty himself in any way. That means he'll lie in any way if it'll save his people, because that's what he learned from her, you know?
Yeah.
She's going down in history. No one else knows this. Like, we find this out as the audience, but no one else knows about what happened with Lady Togi. Probably Suzume knows, to be fair.
I mean, I honestly don't think Suzume knows either.
Oh,
I doubt it.
We'll see.
Like, I mean, it's more like, at the same time, we know that Suzume is much more willing to lie, like, more maliciously, it feels.
Yeah, for sure.
But don't forget, yeah, she's the one that noticed Kaguragi, like, despite him looking distraught and devastated, she's the one that proclaims him as the ruler.
Yeah, but I think she knows that he probably didn't have a choice. I feel like he would have told his sister, but you're right, we don't actually know that. But no one actually knows about this. Everyone else is still going down in history as, you know, they were the corrupt ruler who was overtaken by, you know, the courageous Kaguragi. And he didn't even get to strike her down, which is, you know, the first lie of many.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it, like, yeah, like, this episode is so good. Like, okay, so it's like, I know it's a thing, like, you know, where it's like, oh, where you basically look back, like, if something is so good, you look back on, like, the previous series as, like, it's not as good. Because I saw a tweet earlier, like, saying that King Oger is what people were proclaiming Dawn Bros to be. I'm like, no, they're amazing in different ways.
I was gonna say, look, Dawn Brothers is great. Dawn Brothers is just something else. Dawn Brothers is not something that we can look at with the same narrative structure and be like, hey, guys.
Yeah. And narrative is the big thing here, because
Dawn Brothers really was just vibes.
Yeah.
And I loved it for that. But, like, if someone told me, like, hey, I didn't like Dawn Brothers because I just didn't like that, like, the story didn't feel super cohesive, and, like, I didn't like that there wasn't enough focus on, like, this, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. Fair. Because it's not. Yeah. It's you're right. It's not. I loved it because it was insane. But, like, I get it. Talking
Yeah.
about insane. Next week,
Ye-
we will now begin the audition for the Galactic King's personal idol.
I
And I
am
was
so
not
excited
ready
this
for
episode.
entry number 2847. Which also, we get to see all of them in disguise on the audition, which is also really fucking funny. I love seeing them in different outfits.
Yeah,
But entry number
I'm so excited.
2847, I'm Rita Kaniska. It's nice to meet you. The Indomitable Idol debut. I love that they still have the little fucking, like, face mask. I
Okay,
love how it
whoa,
looks
whoa,
like
whoa,
in the
whoa.
preview. It's like
What was
Jeremy is crying.
what
Himeno's
was
like gasping. Morphonia's like clapping. It's so funny.
what's great about this episode too is that when they do next episode, because it's not giving the triumphant next episode theme, you think it's gonna be serious, and then you see the light sticks half a second later, and you're like, oh
And then it's
no.
like the fucking cat ears on Rita. I was. Here's the thing. It's gonna be like the Himeno episode. You know, we know this isn't gonna be that straightforward. There's gonna be something else going on here, like there was with the Himeno. Like, oh, it's actually a fake Himeno doing this. I don't think they're gonna pull a fake out Rita thing. I don't think they do that twice in a row. But like something else is going on here. But it's something insane, that's for sure.
But yeah, like like in the episode preview, I just love the stoic crying, like tears waterfall from Jeremy.
Jeremy's
freaking best.
to be fair, just look at who Jeremy is as a character. You can't tell me that's not a guy who would fall in love with idol groups.
Fair enough.
I feel like, but Jeremy would be like the non-creepy fan who like really is like he just loves the art form.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like he's just like, this is great. This is a true form of theater and magnitude of magnificence. You know?
Yeah.
Honestly,
I am so excited for next week. Like
next week's gonna be so.
Yeah,
Next week's gonna be really dumb.
Yeah,
and I'm so excited.
This entire arc of Take Back the Countries has been so good because, like
Also,
even though we still haven't actually taken back Unkosapa, like, you know, as we've seen on the map, like this entire arc has just been great. It's just been great stories. Like
it's just been really cool, and it looks like we're maybe depending on how that episode goes, we might get like a reversal where next week's Gotcha looks like it's going to be kind of dark because we're getting Dread, and next week's Oja looks like it's going to be just funny, but we'll see. Because these previews have lied to us before.
They have.
Oof.
Idol Rita, oh my god. I swear, like if this episode turns out to be great, then yeah, like ever
This is gonna be your episode.
Like, I hope so.
And with that, we will talk to you next week when we will see if Idol Rita is all it was cracked up to be today. Happy Thanksgiving this week. We hope you guys all spent some good time with your families or with your chosen families, or even if you didn't do anything, you know. We hope your week was good.
Yeah.
Later.
This program is brought to you by
Our Unending Love of Tokusatsu.
If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to like and subscribe.
And hit the bell for notifications. And if you would like to support us further, consider becoming a patron at our Patreon, Half Hour Henshin.
You can get some exclusive benefits, such as your name in the credits and joining our sticker club. Or, if you want to help with a one-time donation,
you can also find us at Ko-fi at Half Hour Henshin. You can email us with any questions or theories at halfhourhenshin@gmail.com or on Twitter at halfhourhenshin.